All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about something kind of weird from the world of supercars. It's a paradox, really, where being slower might just mean you're better. It's a story that's less about the stopwatch and more about, the feeling of driving.
3.5 seconds. Now, if you know anything about racing, you know that on a track, that is an absolute eternity. It's a lifetime. And that number, 3.5 seconds, is at the very heart of the puzzle we're trying to solve today.
Because get this, that's the time gap between two Porsches that are for all intents and purposes identical. Same engine, same tires, same track. One is just slower, a lot slower. So the big question is, why on earth would anyone spend a fortune on the car that flat out loses the race?
So our story kicks off at the Virginia International Raceway. It's for Car and Driver's big annual event, the Lightning Lap. And the star of the show, the 2025 Porsche 911 GT3. I mean, this thing is a masterpiece. But it comes with a choice. You can get it with a super fast automatic gearbox or a good old-fashioned manual stick shift.
And when you look at the raw data, the difference is just stark. It's not even close. The manual car is 3.5 seconds slower around the track. It grips less in the corners, and it comes out of a key turn more than 6 miles an hour slower. I mean, on paper, this isn't a competition. It's a blowout for the automatic.
So, where did all that time just vanish? Well, it's not some kind of mystery. It really just comes down to simple math. Let's break down exactly why that manual car is bleeding so much time. 32. Just think about that. On one single lap, a driver has to manually shift gears 32 times. That's 16 upshifts, 16 downshifts. Imagine doing all that work while you're trying to wrestle this beast of a car around a track at its absolute limit. Okay, now for the cost of each shift. Every single time that driver has to clutch in and slam another gear, the car stops accelerating for about 1/4 of a second. Now, 1/4 of a second, that sounds like nothing, right? But when you have to do it again and again and again, well, it adds up big time. You take those 16 upshifts, you multiply them by 1/4 second each, and bam, there's your missing time right there. The automatic, on the other hand, shifts in the blink of an eye with 0 interruption. The math is just brutal and it's simple. The very thing that makes the manual special is also what makes it slow. But, if that was the end of the story, this would be a pretty boring explainer. This is where we have to look past the cold, hard numbers on the stopwatch, because, as it turns out, they don't even begin to tell the whole story. And this quote from Casey Colwell over at Car and Driver just nails it. You're flying into a corner, car on a knife's edge, and you have to physically take one hand off the wheel to shift. It's not the fast way to do it. It's not the smart way to get a lap time, but he calls it the challenging way. And that right there is the key. Which brings us to this idea you can't really measure: driver involvement. We're talking about that real connection, that physical and mental link between you and the car. It's not about making things easier. It's about the pure satisfaction of mastering something that's genuinely difficult. And that's the reward for taking on that challenge. It's that feeling of accomplishment you get. Nailing that perfect downshift, that perfectly timed upshift, those are moments of pure joy that a computer-controlled car, no matter how quick it is, just can't give you.
So what this all boils down to is a choice, a really fundamental one for anyone who loves to drive. Are you chasing pure, raw speed, or are you chasing a feeling, a sensation?
And you can really see the two philosophies here. The automatic? Yeah, it's the fastest way from point A to point B, period. It's all about efficiency. But the manual, that's the challenging way. It's built to maximize your involvement, that incredible sense of accomplishment. And this is the killer line. This is the final verdict from the people who drove both cars back to back. Despite being slower, despite being technically worse for racing, the manual GT3 was the car that everyone wanted to drive again. It was the one they couldn't stop talking about. So, in the end, it really makes you rethink what winning even means. If your only goal is the number on the stopwatch, sure, the automatic wins. But if your goal is to have the most fun, the most memorable, the most rewarding drive, well, then the slower car actually takes home the trophy. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to chew on. As our technology just keeps getting faster and more efficient, making everything easier, what's the real value of a good, old-fashioned, beautiful challenge? Maybe, just maybe, the real prize isn't in being perfect, but in the struggle to get there.